This is Mark Belbin, SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. We are recording inside the new facility, inside the new podcast studio at Super Training. And this is a kind of last hurrah bench session, I believe, or towards the last bench session that we did at Super Training Gym. It was great run being in that facility for as many years as we were, and it allowed us to, my businesses to grow in a way that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to grow. So it was great being in there. The rent was cheap, things were easy in there, and it was a good synergy between us and Midtown, and wish them luck. Hopefully things go well for them. But we moved onward and upward, got our own place, got 6,500 squares to fill with as much shit as we can think of to make ourselves more strongerest. Here's our boy Bob Evans banging out some bench pressing. Got some gangster wraps on and some compression cuffs to protect himself before he wrecks himself. You can see each guy kind of has a little bit of their own style. This is Marcus. Marcus likes to kind of sink the weight and then kind of heave the weight. Kind of a little bit of my style where he lowers the weight quickly. Here's Mr. Robot Pants going with a slingshot. We utilize a slingshot towards the end of our workouts. We don't use a slingshot normally for our entire workout. It's usually just for the last few reps, last few sets of the workout. Here's Marcus again. You're going to notice he's going to drop the weight. Watch how he just kind of drops the weight. Just drops that weight quick and then throws it back up. Gets it off that big old belly. The only thing with that you want to be cautious with is that you don't kind of sink it and heave it. You could possibly get called for that in competition. But as long as you're going down with the weight under control, you should be totally fine. Make sure you're not sinking the weight and kind of bouncing the weight off your stomach. You're going to want to, in competition, make sure that you're still getting a little bit of a pause. Here's Casey. Casey kind of benches with a little bit of my style where he's lifting his head up, pushing his head back, and then kind of throwing his head back into the bench as he's pressing upward. Kind of a technique I developed over a fairly long period of time. Here goes Silent Mike. Silent Mike's got a little bit more of a standard style of bench press, banging out a couple reps. Mike has dropped overall, I think, about 30 pounds, but has kept a lot of his strength. Here I go with an overload with the Mad Dog slingshot. But Mike has done that by utilizing a diet called flexible dieting, made popular by Lane Norton. And it's been a diet that's very effective for him. That's a diet that you sometimes hear people talk about. Oh, you get to eat Pop-Tarts on it and stuff like that. But the ugly truth of any diet is that they are hard. They are difficult. They take dedication. And just because flexible dieting does allow some room for some junk here and there, doesn't mean that people that follow that diet aren't dedicated. It's just a different style of diet. It's just a little bit different than what most people are used to, and so therefore you'll have some people that bash it. But we've seen firsthand it's been very effective for Mike. He's been doing great. His strength is really good. He would be a lot stronger than he is now, probably, if he just allowed himself to get bigger and fatter. That's the kind of the ugly truth of powerlifting, is there is no best diet for powerlifting. As many times as you want to try to tell people that, they don't want to hear it because they want to look jacked and tan, and they want to be able to lift heavy weights. But we've seen it too many times over and over again. Guys like Eric Lillibridge, guys like Donnie Thompson, the list of guys that are big and strong that don't give a fuck about what they eat goes on and on. You know, you'll have some of the old school guys, Kazmaier and so on. Those guys obviously ate enormous amounts of like protein and shit like that. But there's Marcus going for his first 500-pound bench. Came up short on that one, but I think he'll nail that pretty soon here. Probably in the new facility, he'll smash that at some point. Maybe he'll do that during our Christmas bench off that I have planned with Dave Ziske, who I plan just to destroy and annihilate. That son of a bitch. That'll be exciting. But yeah, you know, the different diets, people always want to make such a big deal about them, and they want to make a big deal about performance and this and that. And yeah, obviously if you're eating junk, that's not a great way to perform. But making sure you're getting in many, many meals, not missing meals, and keeping yourself hydrated and getting enough sleep. All the just regular rules always apply in terms of performance. Making sure you're getting enough sleep, enough rest. Make sure you're recovering from your workouts. Make sure your workouts aren't so hard that you're not progressing, that you're going backwards. A lot of that stuff is a huge factor in the whole scheme of things as well. Here's Juan doing some shirted benches before his this is before our powerlifting meet, I guess, that we had at Super Training Gym. It was before our November meet, and there goes Adrian with a bench press in there too. Yeah, guys are working on some openers here. One thing you'll kind of notice from us is that when we squat, when we bench, when we deadlift, I mentioned this many times over before, but we spend a lot of time on that particular lift, and sometimes we spend so much time on that particular lift that it's to our detriment. But it's powerlifting, and you kind of feel the need to. Here goes Juan with a pretty good press there. Got his elbows in, threw him back out. Sometimes it's to our detriment, and I see the same thing happen with Olympic weightlifting. You see the same thing happen with bodybuilding. You see the same thing happen with strongman. Strongmen, actually, they might be kind of the best at mixing things up because they are sort of forced to train in the gym, whereas powerlifters and bodybuilders, we're not really forced to do other shit. The reason I said about strongman athletes is because they just have weird apparatus to lift with, so they got to switch shit up a lot more than we do. Anyway, that's it. That's the benching from Super Training TV. I'm out.